Hello, 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 friends. Hello, peeps. Hello. So, I am trying to do 2 streams at once. I did stream before for half an hour, or actually 43 minutes, and I realized that I don't think I checked on to stream to both of the locations I set up. So this is round 2. We're gonna try again. So I'm gonna stream for a little bit. I didn't get to stream like some of the other studies I wanted to do. We did some figure drawing. We did like some warm-ups, some box and cylinder exercises. These are always really good for, you know, just kind of warming up, getting control over like how the forms come towards us and move away from us in space and all that good stuff. So, you know, we did some of that, and then we, just to give you a recap of like what I kind of did while I wasn't actually streaming. Let's hope it works this time. If not, then I have other technical difficulties I gotta figure out. But hey, you know, this is my own dress rehearsal, not. So great. I hope you guys are having a really great Sunday though. So, you know, if we are live in G2G, I really hope that everyone's having a nice chillax day. So after we did our like cylinders and our ellipses and our boxes, we took them and we did like little box figures. I really like doing these little guys because like we get to kind of just take the box exercise and like bring it into figure drawing, which I really like to do because we can get a sense of the dimensionality of the forms and also kind of like start to like get comfortable with the relativity and the relation between the forms within like kind of space, 3-dimensional space, so we can like maintain consistent perspective when drawing our figures, you know, just understanding how the forms like stack, move forwards and backwards in space and all of that stuff, you know, that's all good stuff. I'll just try another one here. These are always good to do. They're kind of addicting. I usually do these with my coffee in the morning. Like I make my coffee and I sit down for a minute and I make my list for the day and I do some warm-ups. My warm-ups for today were like I had some of these. I have some Resident Evil drawing. I don't know if you can see where they're blurred out. I'll maybe like post them later. I just drew Leon with some dog ears and Ada saying good boy. Because I'm playing a lot of Resident Evil right now. Because I'm really enjoying the remake. So yeah, so this is some of that good stuff. And it's like poking into this guy's foot. Smooth him. It's the beauty of doing this on the computer. So what I'm gonna do in terms of like studies, because like I did this, and then we did some figure drawing. Here, I have this on another page. We did some like gesture drawing. It wasn't really figure drawing. Figure drawing is like when you spend more time and you really like take time to like figure out the anatomy, or not figure out, but like study the anatomy and the forms and everything. With gesture, we're really getting that like essence of the movement. So it's like we're really understanding like, wham, you know, this is the line of action following through the whole body, and then this is like the secondary line of action that's kind of taking us, crisscrossing and taking us through the rest of the pose. You know, our line of action, contact point with the ground. We're getting this kind of like broken line of action, you know, things like that. So this is what we were doing before, just more gesture drawings. If you're animating, like this is so paramount. Like, I have my students do gesture drawing every week because it really helps us to like understand, you know, just how the figure moves, like how we can translate that energy into our drawings. And you know, understanding also just like how the kind of pulling of the movement happens, how the balancing of the figure like happens, all that good stuff that just makes these drawings so juicy, you know. Like tilting her head this way and pulling her hips that way feels so sassy. Then we have this like nice crisscross from like the shoulder to the leg here. So it's just so nice. We get this like this, we get that, we get like a bam 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 cha 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 sort of thing happening. Hi mocap, I hope you're having a nice day. I'm glad that the stream is working this time. I tried to do this earlier and I was I'm trying to do multi-streams and that was a there's a couple buttons I set up and did not click, so I'm really glad that it's working. I hope you're having a good day. So we were just doing some gesture drawing. I was just talking about what we were doing and just gesture drawing ideas in general. This is a fun one because we had this like nice connection between her arm and her leg. It's real big, like nice line of action. Well, bam, well, bam. Then we have like the balance from like her back of her head to her foot too. We have that kind of lining up. And then we have this really nice kind of pulling happening. It's like cha, and then cha, you know, so we get this pulling happening and this pushing happening this way. So we get this like, you know, this really dynamic kind of a flow. So that's what I really love about figure drawing. It's like we get this really great kind of dynamic stretching opposition kind of happening with the movement. And you can really understand what's going on in gesture drawing. No, YouTube. I have not forayed into Kick. I've only done a little bit on TikTok, so we're still feeling out TikTok, but I'm gonna do YouTube and Twitch for right now and see how that goes. So I figure since I didn't really get to before, and I had like the tabs open, I'm just gonna do some more studies that I had wanted to do because today's kind of a good study day. So I love Will Weston. Like, he has some amazing figure breakdowns. So I'm actually gonna like just do some Will Weston studies. That's like kind of something I do in my time. I have a lot of pages with Will Weston studies because like the way that he breaks down the forms is so fabulous, because it really kind of helps to wrap your head around like what's going on in that specific context. I do a lot of different kinds of studies too, like, or different you know, different artists. Like I do Bridgman studies, of course. Morpho. I have like the full set of Morpho figure drawing books. They're so good. Let's see, what will I start with? That's a good one to start with. Okay. That's another good one. Okay. I really love Riley, William Riley. The Riley rhythms. Those are a little harder to find because he never made a book formally. One of his students made a book, Mastering the Human Form. Where is it? Mastering Drawing the Human Figure. So pretty like non-descriptive a title. But it is an incredible book because it's all about rhythms and gesture. Okay, so actually I'm gonna start with this one because this is a good one. I just can't make them bigger in Pinterest, so I have to open them in new tabs. So good. Hi Runas! Good to see you! We're doing some studies today. This is just me, like, warming up. We did some figure drawing earlier. Well, we did some figure drawing and I couldn't figure out the string. So that was just my own warm-up for me. So we're doing some Will Weston studies today. So I'm just gonna come over here and like just kind of do some studies of this. So I really love, again, the simplified anatomy. What he is going. Then it's like you can really build off of it. I hope everyone's having a really nice Sunday. I think what I'll maybe do is like do some more figure studies after this, because like you can always see how it helps you out. So he's like dividing the figure into thirds. Something I teach my students all the time is just how important like understanding proportioning is to drawing anything, because we draw a lot of like cartoon characters in my animation classes, and you know, it's like when you're drawing cartoon characters, it's like the proportions are really what gets it to feel on model. But honestly, it's so much the same when it comes to realistic figures. So like that's like all we're doing. It's like a lot of what we're doing in my class. Oh, that's really smart. That's half. Be a little less than halfway. Less than half. And when you're like doing proportion like this, it's not like a hard fast rule for anything, because that's the thing with like any kind of like realistic figure drawing. It's just kind of a guideline, not a rule. Because like people are all sorts of proportions. Like my figure drawing teacher in college, she would not care for any kind of generic drawing, like with the generic amount of heads and things like that. Everyone's got like unique proportions. I'm like kind of thinking about like combining these two drawings now, because these two are studies, but like, you know, if I can combine the two, understand it a little bit better, maybe we can get something that's like even more dynamic. We put this over here. There we go. And then we have that proportioning. We have third. We have Maybe this is a little long. It's a little bit long. There. No, that's right. That's correct. Oh, I'm really glad. I'm really glad Rune is. Found some nice calming music. Glad we're all soothed over here. So yeah, so now we're like kind of applying this because I think that's the bread and butter of when we do these kind of exercises is like the application of everything. So if we can take one steady and turn it into a super steady, then we're really getting the benefit. Bringing that dimensionality into those arms a little bit more. Okay, let's do the back. Okay, so I'm just still gonna like divide it up into thirds. So we have like that relative proportioning. So of course, again, everyone's gonna be a little different. But if we kind of get a sense of relatively, we can eyeball it. It's about half. Okay. It's gonna be half there too. Not 12, half. I maybe made this like square a little too wide, but that's okay. We don't typically want the hips to be like, I mean, it depends on what we're drawing. Like if we're drawing a man, bigger rib cage, smaller hips. Woman, you know, smaller rib cage, bigger hips. It's not like a, it's one of those kind of like stylization things. Because like typically women are gonna have like wider hips because they give birth to the chillins, and so men have the smaller hips. And that's also why like women, like their legs kind of go like inwards. It's just because of like a balance thing, you know. So it's like their hips are wider, so to balance the legs go in more. For the men, it's like you kind of get the opposite thing happening, like the legs kind of go outwards. It doesn't have anything to do with the junk in the middle. And I only say that because there's a part of the Animator Survival Kit book where Richard Williams like makes some sort of assumption about that, and it's not true. It's an anatomical thing. Oh my gosh, my little gripe. It's like my only gripe with Richard Williams. I love that man. But you can see, like, you kind of have an hourglass shape in both, but it's like for men, it's like a little bit differently placed than it is for women. So it's like if that kind of helps to keep it in mind. It's more of a motif than it is a rule. Like that's kind of the truth of it. Like these aren't like rules, it's just like you can kind of skew it feeling masculine if you do these kind of shapes. You can skew it feminine, which is not to say you're drawing a man or a woman, it's just you're skewing it one way or another. I totally got distracted. But it's like we get that hourglass, but like it's happening in a different way. You know, it's like for the women, it comes out like where the femurs are. The great trochanter, if you will. fits into the pelvis. That pops out. That's what's happening here. And for men, it's like the kind of widest part with the legs. It's more like at the thigh. You know, this is kind of where we get more of it bulging out a little bit. So you could have a man standing more straight and then drop this like to the thigh, the mid thigh. You know. So that's, again, you alter those proportions a little bit and you're gonna skew it masculine or feminine. So you just have that kind of like motif again. It's like a character design. You can do whatever you want to. Like, that's the beauty of it. There's not really, like, the rules are pliable. We're just trying to give the impression of, you know, masculine, feminine, so we can tell these stories about these characters, you know? We all have masculine and feminine energies in us, and so, you know, we can all relate to stuff that has both qualities. Like, I always relate to masculine stories. It's just an energy of, like, doing, creating. And then feminine is, like, feeling and receiving. We can all relate to these qualities, so knowing how to express them in your character designs just helps you to tell more stories with them. I'm gonna do another study. This. Always a good rule of thumb to kind of think about how the arms flow with one another, as they typically do. I gotta see, what is he doing with the pelvis? That's what he's doing with it. Oh, that's what he's doing with it. Okay. That's a choice. He's like, in the front of the pelvis we have, like if I draw it kind of like with what he's talking about, you can kind of see, like, in the front, we get this happening. And then the little sockets are, like, over here. And the back is over here. It's like a bowl. It's like a big bowl. And the femurs fit in there. It's a little janky, but that's kind of what's happening. Like, this is the front and this is the back, and then this is the front part. Interesting. I feel like out of all of the different kinds of like figure drawing simplifications and methods I've seen, like, it's kind of funny how like every single person has a different way of like figuring out the pelvis. Like, I don't think anyone has agreed on the pelvis because it's such a weird shape. It's like everyone's got their own simplification. I've seen so many ways into the sun. He's got his own way. I've seen, you know, we've seen these sort of things happening where it's like a half pole. I've seen this happening before. I've seen so many. I've seen, you know, the takeout, Chinese takeout box. Oh my god, like nobody can agree. It's hilarious. Vexed artists for ages. Some of these two over here. Okay. I like this song. Do this one over here. Okay, I'm gonna really kind of keep this in mind too. For this sketch that I'm studying because I often like to find the proportioning first, because then that can help me like build the rest of it off of that proportioning. I think I see what he's doing here. Give it. I know I'm going off the reservation a little bit. I'm going rogue. One needs to explore and experiment. Yeah, we haven't done the leg study, so I'm just kind of doing my own thing. I think that's okay. Decent. Might be a little long. There we go. We're gonna do these legs right here. Honestly, I need leg day. See, I like the simplification with like the front part and then the back part, because like that is what's happening. Like that is kind of, there's a flat front part that's always going to be flat, and then there's like that back little bitty it's always going to be also flat. And then you can have your legs kind of like, and then I guess that's like kind of where he's drawing these two from. And they're not that big. See, this is a muscle. I know what that is. I know what you are. And then the leg would be kind of dimensional like that, you know, that we have. But it's such hopeful music. Like I'm playing Spyro the Dragon or something. No, it's now Zelda. It's turned into Zelda. I've got to find more of his leg studies. I feel like I'm getting a little more confused from this than I am helped. Because I like that we have like a nice kind of square sort of thing happening. We have directionality from like his patella indication, but like the connection, I do feel like the connection is like just a little confusing. So let's see if we can find some legs. Yeah, let's do a little bit more. Let's find some legs, and then we'll just let that be today. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. I do want to do some pecs. See, look, this is kind of like a little bit of like what I was talking about with the pelvis, like how, you know, we get that like flat front. This isn't like as takeout boxy as I've seen some of the other pelvis studies. See, this is why we start drawing like boxes and stuff, because this is all just like taking the boxes and then putting them into our studies over here. But yeah, so this front is gonna be like pretty flat, and then the stuff fits into here. I mean, like, what's really happening is like this is like a big old bowl, really. I mean, he's kind of drawing it like that too. Fruit bowl, but instead of fruit we have intestines. Delightful. I gotta come and do some like actual bone studies. I've done like form and construction kind of studies, but I haven't done studies of like the bones in a minute. Those are always good to do too. And then we have like this here. See, like I was just saying, it's like a big old... So even he's like experimenting with different ways of like simplifying these forms, because there's just a lot of ways, and again, it's like a big bowl for like all your intestines to fit in. You know, all your goopy bits. They fit in there. So they don't go like sloshing around. Ew. Alright, these are some pretty good legs. Let me see if he's got like a pure leg one. Because we need leg day. Okay, this is another guy. We'll do him later. These are some good arms. That wrapping of the radius and ulna. Some legs. Oh, good. Ooh, some legs, some full legs. Good. That's what we want. And then some calves. Okay. Let's start with these. Oh, this is good right here. Ooh. Okay, well there's some of that there. Now we're like in Howl's Moving Castle territory. I like this song. I've heard this before. Heard it before in a dream. So gesture drawing really helps because like when I'm doing the study, I know that this line is like my line of action for the leg. Like there's gonna be a main line of action for the whole body, but there's also gonna be like lines of action for all of the limbs and appendages. So it's gonna really help, you know, when you're doing that to like understand. So look, you can see these two lines of actions actually like kind of meet up. They branch out from one another. That's how you get like that dynamic stretching and that like kind of contrapposto happening. Indicating like where the knees are. There's you can't see it because he doesn't have it marked, but like right here and right here, like that's where we have the pelvis kind of opening up, like that little bowl that I was talking about. And that's why he has these points. I keep thinking, this is Zoom, I can annotate. That's why he has these muscles stretching from here and from here. It's because there are muscles stretching from there. So those are like pretty big, like just consistent landmarks when it comes to the anatomy and all of that and all that stretching. And then a little butt that goes back there. And then this buckles in because these muscles connect to that knee bone I was talking about earlier. Actually, I don't know if my stream was going for that. The knee. This like area where the femur and the shin connect. The shin bone. I don't remember what the name of that is. Oopsie. You can also like think of like straight versus curve, and like that can help to give you a sense of like what straight and then curved, and that kind of sense of the form and the flow of it. The straights are going to show you like where the direction of it is. You can also kind of see we're getting like this little like lightning bolt happening here because this is a muscle and then this is the bone. Muscle and bone. And then the muscles are on the other side here, and then there's that's a muscle up here, and then this is there, and then this. Then there's another one over here. I think that's where that one is. Again, I apologize to my figure drawing teacher if I'm wrong. Oh, 1 second. My music stopped, and it's like on Vivaldi. The best. Yes. Heckin' yeah. Oh, did we just play that one? Oh, we did. Okay, let's go to the beginning again. Perfect. Wee. Woohoo. Okay. Okay. Okay, I want to do this top one, and then we're gonna break for today. I think this is really fun. I was Like, ah, darn, I didn't get the figure drawing on stream, but you know what? I had a really great time. This really helped me. So hopefully it, like, gave you guys some good food for thought, too. Because, like, we went through different drawings, but we, like, broke down why, you know, these things are the way they are and, like, how to kind of understand and translate them. And I love that. This is just, like, what I do all the time for my own enjoyment. I can explain it, like, all the better. Maybe next time we'll do, like, I don't know, we'll do Morpho, or we'll do, Morpho is always really good. We'll do Riley at one point, because, like, I have the book, and, like, man, it's wild to break down the face. Like, in my opinion. Wild. Because, like, the rhythms of it, like, man, if you can understand the rhythms, like, you can really do so much. Okay, so I see what he's doing. So he's got, like, a couple. That's smart. That's smart to put, like, a little arrow at the bottom, because it kind of is a little bit that way. It's like the front of the shin kind of has that sort of quality to it. And I get the patella right here. Alrighty, patellas. Too far in. The song's reminding me of another song. It's gonna drive me crazy. If I think of it all. Okay, so that's kind of what's happening there. Actually, I think that's what's happening there. Don't want to get confused. These muscles go inwards, in, just like that. If we were to draw them on her, we'd have that. And on him, we'd have that, because they're all the same. The overall shapes of the anatomy differ from men and women, but, like, the muscles all do the same thing. So we can be safe from that standpoint. Let me draw those other little leggy legs. Anna or Tomi? I don't... Huh? Or Tomi? Hi, John Gunn. How are you doing? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm doing anatomy studies. Well, yeah, I'm doing anatomy studies based on Will Weston drawings. Oh, yeah, you got me. I walked right into that one and smacked my face on the wall. Wow. I am so gonna use that. That is such a great dad joke. Oh my god. I am so gonna use that on my students. They're probably gonna get it. They're probably not gonna be like me and just totally smack right into that one. I know it was. It was like literally there in writing. Oh, I have no excuse for myself. That was funny. I'm just gonna eat that one. That was like oh my god, that's funny. Awesome. All right. So I feel good about this. We did a lot of really great studies here today. You joined just for the end, John Gond, but I hope you're having a nice day. So we're gonna come back next time. We're gonna do more of this. Probably gonna do like arm day next time. We did leg day. We did just kind of basic anatomy today. It was really good. We started with just kind of the basics of proportions and just like kind of the forms. And we applied that into our own study, and we did the back. We talked about male versus female, like overall shapes in the anatomy. And then we like kind of just did more study. You can see even in these studies, like the gesture is something I'm thinking about, you know, it's like the head to the foot, you know, we really kind of want to think about that connection, because if we contain the figure in the whole line of action, we're going to get a really like beautiful continuous feel. It's going to feel so like cohesive and like, you know, natural. So that's what we want. Then we did some leg studies and pelvi, different kinds of pelvises. And yeah, and then we're rounding out our studies for today. We'll have to do a foot day another day. I need foot day, honestly. Like hand day, I could kind of manage, but foot day, we're gonna need that eventually. But it's probably gonna be arm and shoulder day next time. So yeah, I hope you guys have an excellent Sunday. Have a great rest of your day. This was super fun. I can't wait to see you guys next time. And yeah, y'all take good care. Bye.